Adolescence is heralded in by some physical changes. What happens when a child moves into adolescence, there are two physical changes that occur. You know, the first one, biologically. There are bumps that appear in various places, the body changes in shape, and hair starts to grow in all sorts of places, testosterone kicks in, and biologically there are changes. We know that. We also know, interestingly enough, that there are some mental changes. And the big mental change is that the child moves from concrete thinking, physical thinking, to abstract thinking. In other words, they can start to reason, like an adult starts to reason. For example, for time. In relation to time, a 5 to 12-year-old, well, certainly 5 to 6, 7, 8-year-old, has no concept much of time. For most kids, there's only one time, and it happens to be, now time. Everything needs to be now. They walk into a shop, they see something they like, they want it now. They've got no concept of wait or delay or anything else. It's immediate. They want it now. As adults, you can go into a shop and you can say, oh, well, I can't afford it, or I'll put it down on my birthday list, or I'll save up for it, or similar things. You've got some ability to reason, to think about this gift or present or item in the store. But children don't. So the brain kicks over in adolescence, and they start to be able to think about things much larger than just now things. That's why we do in schools career guidance in year 10, because students are now starting to think and have the capacity to think about their future, what subjects they're going to do in year 11, what subjects in year 12, what course are they going to do, and what ultimate career goal does it mean they're going to head towards. They are all capable of that kind of thinking and programming, because the brain now is kicked over when they can do that mentally. So that means that a whole lot of things start to occur in their head about the future. And once people start to think about their future and they start to stop thinking about the now, they can get a bit panicky about life. Oh my goodness. You know, and I've had some adolescents say, I wish I was a kid still. It was easy then. It was just now, you know, you're just worried about stuff now. But now I've got to think about the future, because the brain is kicked in to a point when they can do that. General Hersoff, general from the US Army, had some wise words. A boy becomes an adult years before his parent thinks he does, and about 2 years after he thinks he does. And it's probably true too. But what's interesting and what makes it difficult in our community is it's somewhat of a murky stage that we go through. And in our Western community, any rite of passage has been lost. We have no rituals or celebrations that raise our consciousness about puberty and entering adolescence. And therefore it's a somewhat murky stage. We muddle into it and struggle through. In certain societies, it's very clear. As soon as you hit adolescence, you are given the spear and you are told, out into the jungle or out into the whatever, the wilderness, and you're a little rock. Go out and kill the beast. And when you're done, you come back as mountain rock. And you are then initiated into the tribe as an adult. It's very clear. You don't have to guess it at all. Very clear. But in this community, it's not. In the Jewish community, I mean, there's a bar mitzvah. And you'll see in the Bible where Jesus was sitting at the feet of the priests in the temple. And that was all part of the ritual of moving into adolescence and out of adolescence into adulthood. There are certain rituals in certain communities that we don't have in this community, and that makes it a tad tricky, because it becomes very much a murky problem that we kind of struggle through. But I like this saying, why can't all the problems of adolescence hit us when we're about 24 and know everything? Because there certainly are a lot of problems that tend to come our way, and they're not always smooth. You see, it's up and down. There are no clear guidelines, no clear pathways, and the adolescent can be so grown up one day and childlike the next. In fact, it's interesting. I remember reading once that Anna Freud is Freud's daughter. So Anna Freud said something like this. She said, it's normal for an adolescent to act in an unpermissible manner. In other words, to love his or her parents on the one hand, while on the other hand, to hide from them when they bring his or her lunch or gym clothes or whatever to school. She said, at any other time of life, such behaviour of loving on the one hand yet hiding on the other would be considered crazy. But she said in adolescence is considered normal. It's up and it's down. She said, therefore, the best way to treat your adolescent, because they're kind of crazy and it's up and it's down, she said the best way to treat your adolescent is as though they are an inpatient in the local psychiatric hospital. Because she said, basically, she said you do it with Auntie May. You know, Auntie May comes over on a trip from Melbourne and lobs here, and she walks in and you say, how are you, Auntie May? And she says, get off my back. Don't talk to me. And you go, it's Auntie May, loopy Auntie May. And what Freud is saying is we ought to do some of that with our adolescent. Don't take it too seriously because it is a bit of a crazy period. Fascinating words. One day, they'll want to give a parent a hug. And the next day, they won't want to be seen dead with the parent. One day, they'll help with cleaning their room. The next day, it looks like a bomb has hit it. At one period, teenage siblings will get on so well together, but before you know it, they fight like cat and dog.